Discover how a simple act of kindness can transform a family's life. Join us as we follow Sarah, a single mother, and see how the Kindness Project helps her overcome adversity and build a brighter future. Sarah's days began before dawn, her alarm blaring at 4:30 a.m., cutting through the stillness of her cramped apartment. A single mother of two 7-year-old Emma and 5-year-old Liam, she shuffled into the dim kitchen, exhaustion clinging to her like a heavy fog. She worked 2 minimum-wage jobs, mornings as a waitress at a busy diner, nights as a stalker at a grocery store. Between shifts, she raced to pick up her kids from school, their small hands pulling at her frayed coat as they shared stories of their day. At home, she managed cooking, cleaning, and homework, her eyes stinging from sleeplessness. Bills stacked up on the counter rent, utilities, a medical bill from Liam's asthma emergency one, a quiet threat she couldn't silence. Childcare was a luxury she couldn't afford. She depended on a neighbor who could only help sporadically. Stress was a constant companion, a dull ache in her chest. She'd gaze at her sleeping children, their faces serene, and whisper, "I'm trying so hard for you." But some nights, with the fridge nearly bare and the numbers not adding up, she'd collapse into her hands, tears soaking her rough palms, wondering how long she could endure. Yet every morning, she rose, fueled by a fierce, unyielding love. One brutal day, chaos reigned. Her alarm failed, leaving her late for the diner. Her manager berated her publicly, his voice slicing through the hum of customers. "Sarah, this is the 3rd time this month. I can't keep covering for you." Her cheeks burned as she stammered apologies. On her break, her phone buzzed. Liam's school reported a fever, demanding she pick him up. Panic surged. She couldn't afford to leave early again. Her neighbor couldn't help, and after begging her boss, who docked her page, rushed to the school. Liam was pale, listless, and her heart broke as she held him. The doctor's visit drained her scant savings, and the pharmacy bill hit like a punch. Back home, with her night shift looming, she hadn't eaten, and the kids were hungry. She made sandwiches with trembling hands. Tucking them in, Emma's wide eyes met hers. "Mommy, are we going to be okay?" Sarah forced a smile, her throat tight. "Of course, sweetie, Mommy's got this." But she was unraveling. That night, stocking shelves, her mind spun. An eviction notice from that morning loomed largish, had 2 weeks to pay rent or lose everything. The image of her kids on the street haunted her. Alone in her struggle, a coworker's words broke through. "The Kindness Project helps people like us, Sarah. Check them out." Pride stalled her, but her children's fear drove her. She resolved to visit the next day, clinging to a fragile hope. Have you ever felt the weight of the world, yet pushed on for those you love? Far from Sarah's grind, a quiet revolution thrived. The Kindness Project wasn't just a charity, was a lifeline, rooted in the belief that no one should suffer alone. It began with John, a man who'd once walked Sarah's path. After losing his job and scraping by, a stranger's aid changed his life. Grateful, he vowed to help others, starting with food and clothes for neighborhood families. Word spread, volunteers joined, and they secured a small office and a website. Thus, the Kindness Project emerged. Imagine volunteers unloading groceries, offering them to tired parents with warm smiles, or sitting with families to chart paths out of hardship. They provided food, clothing, and tools like job training, but above all, dignity. One woman, voice shaky, said, "They didn't just give me food, they gave me hope." A man beamed, "I felt seen, heard, valued. That's their magic, their mission. Meet people where they stood, listen, and lift them up. It became a movement rippling across the city. Volunteers shared tales of late-night donation sorting, of a child's joy at new shoes. It wasn't about handouts, it was about connection, about building bridges from despair. Their job training program stood out, partnering with local businesses to teach skills from culinary arts to bookkeeping, helping graduates secure stable jobs and break poverty's cycle. Childcare support let parents like Sarah work or train without worry, while financial counseling offered budgeting wisdom. From humble roots, the Kindness Project grew into a force for change. And soon, Sarah's chaotic world would intersect with theirs. What does kindness mean to you? It was a dreary Tuesday when Sarah neared collapse. Late to the diner after Liam's fever call, her pay docked, and facing her night shift, she stood in the rain outside her apartment, clutching a soaked eviction notice. Her breath caught, despair rising. A neighbor's mention of the Kindness Project lingered, and though pride resisted, desperation won. She stepped into their modest office, drenched, eyes flickering with unease. Claire, a volunteer, welcomed her, her voice a soothing balm. "Hey, come in, you're safe here." They sat, and Sarah's story spilled out: 2 jobs, 2 kids, endless bills, no time. Claire listened intently, her nods a tether in the tempest. Then, relief. "We're here to help, Sarah. You're not alone." Claire outlined their aid: immediate funds to halt eviction, childcare for Emma and Liam affordable, and enriching and job training. "Our bookkeeping course starts next week," she said. 6 months, and most graduates find work. Sarah's pulse quickened. Numbers were her strength, but opportunity had eluded her. "I don't know if I can," she faltered. Claire's hand rested on her shoulder. "You can, Sarah. We'll be with you every step." The rain persisted, but inside Sarah, a spark ignited hope cutting through the gloom. That evening, Claire invited her to a support group. There, single parents shared tales of struggle and triumph. Maria, a culinary graduate now a sous chef, inspired her. "It was tough, but they believed in me when I didn't," she said, eyes aglow. Sarah left feeling connected, part of a community cheering her on. Have you ever felt a stranger's kindness shift your world? Months passed, and Sarah's life shifted. The Kindness Project's childcare let Emma and Liam flourish, their giggles easing her heart. She started the bookkeeping course, nerves jangling on day 1. The small classroom held 10 eager learners, led by Mr. Thompson, a retired accountant volunteering his expertise. His calm demeanor simplified the complex. Sarah gripped her pencil, doubts swirling. Could she succeed? Early lessons tested her, and she lingered after class, peppering Mr. Thompson with questions. His patience steadied her. "You're doing great, Sarah, one step at a time." Her confidence blossomed. She aced her first test, stunned at her own ability. But then Liam fell ill, forcing her to miss a key lesson. Panic returned. She was slipping. Dropping out tempted her, but Claire and Mr. Thompson intervened, arranging tutoring, while classmates shared notes. The support overwhelmed her. She wasn't just mastering bookkeeping, she was learning trust in herself, in others. Tension built as the final exam neared. She studied late, eyes weary but resolute. Exam day, her hands trembled, but she passed top of her class. At graduation, diploma in hand, her kids cheered as tears fell. "I couldn't have done this without you," she told the Kindness Project, voice cracking. Then, a shock. Mr. Thompson revealed a job offer from an accounting firm, steady pay, flexible hours. Sarah's jaw dropped. It was beyond her dreams. That night, tucking in Emma and Liam, peace settled over her. "Mommy, "Are we rich now?" Liam asked. She laughed, ruffling his hair. "Not rich, sweetheart, but we're okay, better than okay." "What does empowerment look like to you?" Sarah's story isn't the end, it's a spark. The Kindness Project thrives on people like you. Picture your spare change buying a meal, an hour of volunteering lifting a soul, your voice amplifying their mission. Every act ripples. Last year, they aided 500 Yaon families with food, trained 200 for jobs, and cared for 150 kids. Numbers tell part of the tale, lives transformed tell the rest. Donor Mrs. Jenkins shared, "I gave 10 monthly, thinking it was small. Then I read a family's thank you for school supplies, every bit matters." Volunteers fuel the mission. Tom, a student, sorts donations weekends. "It's tough, but the smiles make it worthwhile," he says. Lisa, a retired teacher, tutors kids. "They're so bright, I love helping them shine." Inspired? Visit the Kindness Project site to donate, volunteer, or share their story. Small actions spark big change. Who's next to rise? With you, it could be anyone. How will you spread kindness today? Like and subscribe to The Kind Story for more tales of hope. Disclaimer. This is an original work for The Kind Story, crafted by human writers with AI aid for formatting. It mirrors real-life emotions and complies with YouTube's community guidelines and monetization policies.